What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happen in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoyed the Scale News Update, hit the like button and let's jump into this week's topics. And our first topic for this week comes from Proline in the way of a teaser that they put up on Facebook earlier in the week. And this is one of the new style Ford Broncos, but this is specifically for more like the Tenacity or short course style vehicles rather than scale trucks. They only showed a very kind of close up front quarter view of it, but it looked pretty good. Paint job had the, highlighted R like the Bronco race version that was used, and I believe the Baja, and I think maybe some of the Ultra 4 guys used a very similar paint scheme as well. But we haven't seen full details or full photos of this body yet, but we know Proline, we see a teaser, we're gonna see the details in a week or so. So if you're interested in that, if you've got short course vehicles or one photo is enough to make you think about one, then this should be pretty exciting. And speaking of Proline teasers, we also got another one on Monday, and this is the GMC Sierra 3500 dually style truck body. Now, this appears to be for scale trucks, so most likely appeals to more of you than the previous. But this one, again, off angle, only small snippet of the body shown. Doesn't look like an overly long bed version, so I imagine we're going to see something in a multi-door style or maybe at least extended cab. Not really sure. I don't remember if they made crew cabs of this body style or not. I think that they did. But I imagine that we'll see something like that so that it can accommodate most interiors and things like that. If it was a single cab to make a long bed, it would have made things all weird. But while you may not see a lot of dually short bed pickups of that era, I imagine they had to take some liberties with the styling to make everything work properly. But kind of the cool, classic style paint scheme was shown on this photo. And again, interested to see what they finish this thing off and how the proportions of this body look in the end. In the photos, it looks like they've got the dually carbine wheels or carbine wheels that they sell. And on it, I think they had the BFG TAs on there just to make it look, pretty scale on-road, not so aggressive off-road, which this body would definitely not be so fitting, even though I'm sure that won't stop people from putting highly ridiculous styled tires and wheels on this. We all know what's going to happen. If you need to get prepared for this, I'll put the listing for the dually wheels in the description at least, but the full details on the body probably follow around the same time as that Bronco. This week, while hunting for new releases, I ran across one from Orlandoo, which if you don't remember, that's those like 1/32 scale, cell phone sized RCs. And they came out with a travel trailer. This is a 4x0, as it says on the box, no power travel trailer, but it does have 4-wheel independent suspension and a lot of detail. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool. If you didn't know what scale it was, you just knew it was a scaled down trailer, you would be hard pressed to guess that this is 1/32 scale. They did a good job. I've put together some of these Orlandoo kits in the past. They can be a bit of a nightmare just because the screws are so tiny, just crazy tiny, but they're pretty inexpensive. If you're looking just for a little bit of frustration or you want to play a cruel joke, then pick this thing up because they will accomplish both of those things. Or if you have an Orlandoo already, one of the many different body styles that they have, this could probably go on any of them. They put out a pretty cool little video showing it driving around like a scale, maybe a train set of some sort. Pretty good video. Did a nice job overall. Worth a watch, at least for the video, even if you have no interest in the trailer itself. But wait until this video is over, of course. It'll be linked in the description below. You can go see all the details. And then speaking of terrible ideas, how about this one from Fury RC? Now they partnered up with TOYAN, who makes the little, build it yourself gas engines, or you can just buy them, assembled. I think they're technically NITRO. I'm not sure one way or the other. But this is a 1/8 scale, like Blazing Blazer kind of style. They're calling it the Sand Cruiser 1/8 4-wheel drive NITRO kit. They've got a video with some driving footage of this thing kind of blasting around. This is not going to be a crawler. This is not going to have much off-road, like technical ability. You're going to have to keep some RPMs in that engine and keep moving. Even though this has a functional 3-speed transmission, I do not think that this is going to have any slow speed technical capabilities. So I would cut that one out. It does still have reverse, and then it has a bunch of other, all metal gears and steel chassis, metal shocks. It's a open diff in the front, locked diff in the rear. And beyond that, just the normal technical specs are listed. Nothing overly exciting. One thing I did notice is that they've got one shot in the video where it's kind of going up a slight grade, and it's already broken. I think it's got a lower link hanging, and you can see the front axles moving around, but it still made the video cut. I'll get a snippet of it and put that in the little the thing that's right here, right now. See it? You can go watch the full video after this video and after the Orlandoo travel trailer one. I'll link it as well in the description below. This week, I want to thank Holmes Hobbies again for sponsoring the Scale News Update for the month of December. This week, the Holmes Hobbies SHV 500 LP available. The first batch has gone up. You can pick these things up. These are 2 to 4S direct power capable. On 4S, these make like 680 inches of power out of a low profile servo. Super impressive. I actually got mine already. They're here, they're tiny, but the power is not. Plenty of applications that I've got in mind for this. Gonna see that in use in the future here for sure. But thanks again, Holmes Hobbies, for sponsoring the month of December on the Scale News Update, and of course, that servo linked in the description below. Biddy Designs is teasing a new no-prep drag racing body. This is an S550 style Mustang, it appears from the front clip that they're showing. They recently released that ZL1 or 1LE Camaro, and now Mustang to follow. They did a really good job on that Camaro body. It looked great. This one, I imagine, gonna be right there with it. Biddy Designs definitely putting out some amazingly styled bodies. So if you're in no prep, you weren't the Camaro fan, now the Mustang's an option. I can't imagine how you could go wrong with either one. They teased the Camaro a ways out before the actual release. This one they are teasing now, and it looks like it's supposed to be releasing in December, it says, but not sure when that means it will actually land and be available. That's the bigger question with shipping delays and the holiday season shipping, overload. Could be a little while, but be interesting to see. As soon as it lands, I'm sure that we'll see it at our local dealers. We'll talk about it here again on the Scale News. SSD just released a new set of functional locking hubs for a couple of different RC models. Now these are just like the full-size hubs where you had to get out and turn the little dial to engage the front hubs to work with four-wheel drive systems. That was something that has been seen more common on older trucks, but can still be seen on some more modern vehicles as well. But these are an actual functional locking hub. Take a few more twists, it appears, than the full-size versions of them, but they do operate just the same. The internal design threads and engages cogs or disengages them to give you a freewheel system, just like a full-size vehicle. Now, these do replace the entire inner shaft as well as a number of components on the outside. So these do mean that they're specific to the vehicle that they're designed for. The SCX2 version will also work with the Element vehicles, and then it also appears that these are being currently offered for the SSD Trail King axles, which had a slight offset to them. So at this point, those are available now, but depending on popularity of these, I could see them being made for other platforms in the future as well. If you pick these up, the bolt pattern that's designed into them is the Vanquish SLW pattern. So you will need a wheel that uses a Vanquish SLW hub. It's a cool feature to see brought back again since it was available in the early days with like the Tamiya Hilux or Bruiser, whichever one it came on exactly. But it is cool to see that type of functional accessory make its way back into the scale scene. This week there was a release from a company that I have not seen before, and it was called TWS, and they released the CTS. This appears to be very closely modeled after, if not the same, as the MST platform. I believe the CFX, the smaller version, the non-portal. It's got the same style motor forward, transmission mount, and axle mounted servo design, but This one a little bit different. The most interesting part of this release though is the Geo Tracker styled body to me. I actually do kind of like the little Geo Trackers. This one, again, a pretty short wheelbase, 242 millimeters, under 10 inches total length, but still looks pretty good. The scale proportions of this look, I mean, right on. The chassis on this, again, does look just like the MST, and the TWS looks a lot like MST, just kind of rearranged and flipped around a little bit. Not saying it's the same, but I think that it's the same or very closely associated, if not maybe a knockoff, I don't know. Right now I'm only seeing this brand listed through Asia Tease, but maybe it's finding its way through other places. Like I said, it looks like it just popped up. Gonna keep an eye out, see if anything more materializes out of this, see if we see any more similarities to MST, or if we start seeing any, partnership or collaboration, whatever it is between the two. Speaking of bodies, there's a new brand starting up called the RC Crawler Body Shop. And this brand is associated with G-Speed, Team G-Speed. They make aftermarket comp style chassis mainly, but at this point they've secured a new business name website without any actual details on it yet. So far I've only seen some Facebook photos of some faraway stacks of crawler bodies, you could assume by the name, but no actual photos of the products or any views of what we're to expect. But at this point, they've launched the website itself. They've put a landing page up with a link that you can enter your email address for likely some sort of mailing list that they're going to send out once everything's up and running. If you're interested in thinking about some new, probably comp style bodies, then here's a brand maybe you take a look at, see if they're going to offer anything that you may be interested here in the future. That's about all we know about it so far. The name kind of says it all. This week I saw a new product from RC Nerds, and this is a very detailed looking interior for the 124 scale Proline Power Wagon body. There is a scale scene for the 124 scales, and this is a great example of that in case you want to get in there with your smallest paint brushes to get these things fully detailed. RC Nerds is selling the files for this interior on their My Mini Factory. So you're gonna have to print it yourself and then get to detailing to really sell this whole thing. It is a multi-piece design, having the front dash, floorboard area, and then a separate bench seat. So a couple of pieces, crank the detail level on your 3D printer and start going. I can't imagine it'll take too long though. The interior on these bodies is only like, it's tiny. RC Nerds also has a ton of other 3D printable scale accessories for 1/10 scale bodies as well on their My Mini Factory. You can do some shopping while you're on there in case you're running out of things to print for your projects at home. And another teaser story for this week, Pitbull RC released a photo of what I'm guessing looks like a monster truck tire. I haven't really seen Pitbull go outside of their normal Pitbull tires, full size tread patterns on releases, and as far as I'm aware, there wasn't any monster truck or agriculture tires in their history, but probably wrong. We're gonna see something from them maybe around the same time that we see that 1.0 tire released as well. Last week, we talked about some items for the Christmas list. Unfortunately, a lot of those deals that were live at the time that I was recording expired by the time the video actually went up the next day. So unfortunately on that, I did find a few new items for this week that, even if they're not like crazy sales, they're at least cool items, maybe some outside of the box gift ideas at the very least. These items are all non-scale RC, but all still in the vicinity. First off, if you're shopping for your wife or girlfriend, maybe she's a space fan, would be interested in this Blue Origin scale model. Something a little bit different, break the norm of your typical holiday gift giving ideas. I think there'll be a lot of interest in this one. And then in the theme of going through the air, how about this one? This is the DW Hobby Savage Bobber in the almost ready to fly package. I put this one on there maybe because I thought it looked really cool. Maybe I impulse bought it because it was orange and said that it would be easy to fly. Probably wrong, most definitely going to crash it, but I couldn't help myself. I don't know who you'd be buying this for other than possibly yourself, but I thought it was cool and it's going on the list. And then we've got the Traxxas Maxx WideMaxx. This is the new release from Traxxas they just came out with. It's wider, it's longer, it's maxer. This is a 4S capable, like 60-mile-an-hour monster truck. Definitely not a cheap gift item. This would be a fairly large gift for whoever would possibly be lucky enough to receive it, but looks like a really cool monster truck idea and a brand new release, available in a lot of colors. 4S, 60 miles an hour, jumps high, big tires. Then if you have someone who's more of a tinkerer and less of an RC person, another one to look out for is the UGears models. These are a cool little gift thing. I've actually picked up a number of these and I've done some in the past myself. I actually have a number of them here that I'm going to be giving as gifts this year to people that fit that bill. This is an assembled version here, and these are all made from just flat stacked wood pieces. They come in small boxes like this, and they're just all laid out in these little laser cut pieces of wood. But the really cool thing about these is that they're super functional with a ton of the design. This one has, actual steering that when you move the steering wheel, it actually steers like a rack and pinion. It has suspension, things like the actual windshield wipers move with a knob on the inside. The hood opens with a hood pop inside. It's got a V8 engine that actually the pistons move and a drive shaft spins and it spins the rear tires with it all at once. They're rubber band powered. They've got, a rubber band system in the back. You kind of just crank it up with a deal there, and there's got a, little like clutch release to get it all spinning. Super cool. You can go on and on with all the details, from rolling up and down windows and opening doors. And again, it's all from just little flat stacked pieces of wood. They're super impressive. One that I can definitely recommend. They've got ones that are, vehicle based, which are the ones that I tend to like the most, but they also have like roller coasters and kind of art type ones. Definitely worth a look if you're looking for kind of an outside the box gift idea. And they have them in like all of the price ranges, from super cheap to much more expensive, but check those out while you're at it. But that's gonna do it for this week's Scale News Topics. For this week's question, had an interesting comment on my most recent YouTube video this week, and it was, what are the excuses you use when you purchase these insert expensive possible item here? I thought that sounded like a fantastic question for this week. Whether you're making an excuse to yourself to rationalize why you need to spend this money, or you're having to explain it to whoever may be living with you and may be questioning your financial decisions, let's hear them. Creative, actual, whatever you got, throw yours in the comments below. With that, as always, thanks for watching the Scale News Update every Tuesday. Hit the like button if you enjoy these. Subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. As always, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.